Shalom. Welcome to Erev Israel. This is Avraham Shira. We're here right before the sun sinks into the sea, and it's been another week of birurim, clarifications. This entire creation is an act of clarifying what began in the beginning. What began in the beginning was an infinite God of goodness, patience, mercy, vision, understanding, and all the good qualities. But to create man, he needed to create the opposite of himself, the potential for evil. And in this week's Parsha, in the Zohar and in Rashi, and all the commentators speak about the first words of the Parsha, Re'eh. See that I put before you the blessing and the curse. And it's up to choose, our choice. Now, Sforno says something very interesting that I thought was really appropriate for every human being. He says, how do you know blessing or curse? Well, a blessing is when you have more than what you really need. And a curse is when you don't have the minimum of what you need. So if you're sitting on millions of dollars, you probably have more than what you need, although you might not think so. And a person who doesn't have the basics of what he needs, basic living requirements, he might feel cursed. But the person who has more than what he needs, well, you would think, I'm blessed. But a lot of people that have what they need are not particularly happy. They don't particularly count their blessings. And so, if we extend this paradigm out, this contradistinction of ideas, blessings and curses, we see that it's really a matter of basic needs and how I perceive my basic needs. So it's not enough just to have what you need. It's how you look at what you have determines whether you're blessed or cursed. Because the minute you're not happy with what you have, you're cursed. And we know certainly there are people that have a lot and they're not happy and they're not really focused on all the good. That's a curse. And then there are those few people, I imagine there's not a lot of them, but the righteous people who have barely what they need and yet they feel blessed. So those people have taken what the commentator calls a curse and turned it into a blessing. He sees the little that he has as a blessing. And it's way less than an average person's needs. But he sees it as enough and he's blessed. And vice versa, the person who has way more than anybody could spend in a lifetime, yet he's always looking for more. And he's not really happy without the more. And that more is ma'od. And tov ma'od is the word that the Torah describes for the creation of the sixth day. God created the sixth day, and he ra'ashu tov ma'od, and it's the only day that God calls ma'od. And the commentators teach that the word ma'od signifies the creation of the evil inclination. Now, how could the creation of the evil inclination be called good? But it's that very creation of our desire to go against goodness is what gives us our humanity. It gives us our potential to grow and to expand and to be godlike. Because you cannot be godlike if you only know good. If you don't know evil, then you're not really in this world. You're still in heaven. It's a wonderful place to be. But in this world, we have to know that there is something besides good. And so the potential for the wrong choice makes the right choices so valuable that we need to make in our lives, whether with ourselves, our families, and of course the bigger issues that we face. And so this Parsha is telling us God puts before us the blessing or the curse. We have to choose. Now, a lot of people don't like choosing. I think the majority of people don't like choosing. You go to the grocery store and you got 10 types of cereal and you're like, this is too hard. I can't choose from all these cereals, from all these soft drinks, from all these, canned goods. Choosing puts us on the edge because of the potential for what we feel is wrong or bad. So on one hand, that's good. We should be careful about our choices. But at the same time, if the choice itself makes us stressed, tense, unable to enjoy life, to enjoy the choice. I know sometimes people have gone out to buy a car and they're all stressed because they're going to go spend $50,000 whatever on a car. Well, it is a stressful thing to spend a lot of money, but it's still a blessing to have the money to go out and buy a car. How many people have that right, have that ability? So it's all about the parameters of our judgment, the way we measure our lives. What the Torah gives us, and especially the Shabbat gives us, is the ability to acquire again the ability to measure things properly, to measure what's important, what's not, what's worthy of stress and what's not. So the Torah gives us that retooling of our capacity to measure what's good and what's not, what's a blessing or what's a curse. Because we can turn a blessing into a curse or a curse into a blessing very fast, just as we said. And if you happen to have a lack in your life, and that hurts, the approach that works the best is to say, well, how can I turn this lack into good? How can I turn what I don't have into something better? And if we take that approach, God looks down from heaven and says, look at him. I didn't give him money. I didn't give him a wife. I didn't give her children. And they're still happy with me. They're still happy. They're still doing what they need to do. That gives God a lot of pleasure to see people like that. Because it's no big deal. It's no spiritual achievement to be happy when things go well. Right? The big deal is when things don't go well and we're able to turn the curse into a blessing, the lack into abundance. And really, the abundance just depends on how we measure. And if you're happy with what you have, then you have abundance. So this is something that we have to work on. It's a practice. It's a mental practice to rewire our brain the way we measure our lives. And when we look and we learn how to remeasure our lives, then all of life starts to make a lot more sense. And we can accept things the way they are and move on. It doesn't mean we don't pray for more. It doesn't mean we don't look for and believe in abundance. We just know that the abundance will come when it's supposed to. And we have faith in that. And we have faith in our God that he is not lacking anything, and we don't have to either. But we have to make that choice. So God should bless you all with a wonderful Shabbat. A Shabbat of abundance and blessing, and a Shabbat where if there is a curse in your life, to turn it around quickly, as fast as we can. Shabbat Shalom. We'll see you next week on all the platforms. All the best.